Mistake number 10 is not paying attention to charge time mechanics. In Final Fantasy Tactics, certain abilities, especially magic, don't happen instantly. They have their own cast or charge time that must be completed before the effect triggers. When you queue up a spell, you'll see these numbers in the lower left corner with a spell icon and number. That's how you know exactly when the spell is going to actually happen. This is where a lot of beginners get burned, literally. Say your Black Mage targets an enemy with a fire spell, but before they finish casting, the enemy moves onto your nearby melee unit. Well, now both the character and the enemy are going to take the same fire damage because FFT allows for friendly fire, and most damaging spells have an area of effect. So this is why it's always crucial to check the turn order before committing to your cast. If an enemy is about to move before the spell finishes, then this can likely go very badly. This is also true of enemy spells, by the way, which can also be monitored in the turn order. If your enemy healer, for example, is about to save another enemy unit in 3 turns with a healing spell, well, it makes sense to try to finish off that enemy before the healing spell lands, otherwise your work damaging that previous enemy is wasted. It gets even more interesting later on in the game with more advanced units and abilities. Summoners have some of the most devastating spells in FFT, but their charge times are even longer, so proper timing and positioning are everything here. Learning when to risk a delayed spell for big damage and when to play it safe with instant abilities is going to be key for getting better at the game. A side tip here is that sometimes you can still cast effectively even when you can't reach an enemy unit directly or they're not in range. You can do this by placing an AoE spell next to the enemies targeted on a nearby tile, not the enemy itself, therefore extending your attack range depending on the size of the spell's AoE effect.